Welcome back to the video blog. My name is Adam Daniel Mezei, adamdanielmezei.com. I hope you had a good one. Mine was relaxing as well. I had a chance to just backpedal a bit, which is what weekends are all about. Move slow, talk low, take in the sights, and try to go unplugged, try to disconnect. That's a good recipe for any good weekend. Anyway, I did some work on Sunday because I enjoy working on Sundays. I enjoy working on Sundays because the demands of the weekend aren't like on the weekday, and I kind of like to slide into the week nice and easy as opposed to being whacked over the head with a sledgehammer or an anvil. By the time I finished and called it quits, I looked at the clock and it was an obscenely late hour in the early morning. Now, I kid you not, I hadn't really paid attention to the passage of time, and I hadn't even noticed that it was that late. Yeah, sure, I looked out the window, and of course it was pitch dark outside, but I got so riveted, bolted into what I was doing, the projects that I was working on, that I didn't even realize that much time had passed. I'd gone out in the late afternoon for a little workout, took about an hour and a half, an hour doing that, and then I came back home, had something to eat, and got clocking on these projects. I'm coding 2 websites for a couple of new projects that I'm working on, and so I was kind of just teaching myself a couple of new skills, and there was a bit of a learning curve with that. But the point I wanted to make was that's exactly the kind of work that you need to be doing. You need to be doing work in life where you don't even notice the passage of time. If you're in a job where that's how every day that you sit down in front of the computer, like most people, or whatever you do, if that's the kind of job that you have, that you don't notice that the clock is ticking and the hours are passing, my friend, you are a very, very, very fortunate person, and you should cherish that, and you should embrace that, and you should share that bliss that you have with other people that you know, your friends, your colleagues. Constantly impress upon them the idea that that is the kind of toil and work that we have to engage in as a society. Never before, as Everett Bogue himself, the minimalist, artofbeingminimalist.com, as Everett Bogue himself says, that never before have we had the kind of democratized work processes that we have today. Nobody is looking over your shoulder and commanding to you what to do. Don't get me wrong. There are some societies that still operate according to the old principle. There are some societies that still want to work according to the top-down principle where somebody is breathing over your shoulder and telling you what you need to do. Otherwise, you don't feel requited, legitimate, or even like as a real person, which is pretty sad. Of course, I'm thinking about here the local environment in Prague where entrepreneurship is not something that is widely practiced, and speaking your mind is a chronic moral failing. But never before, as Bogue says, do we have the tools to harness the power of creating our own destinies. And that was something that was passing through my mind as I nodded off to sleep and caught a few hours of shut-eye before the sunrise. I was saying, man, I wish I could have that every single day where I don't even have to think about the passage of time. And that's really what I'm trying to build up to. That's what I'm kind of kvetching and kvelling about here on the video blog, telling people about minimalism and just embracing that kind of work, which is totally all-engrossing. I wish and I pray for that every day, and that's the kind of work that I would like to have going into, midlife and beyond. I just want to be totally in love with what I'm doing. And if you're not feeling that way about your work, and if you do look at the clock when you're at work, then you, my friend, are in a very bad state, and you should reconsider your actions. Because, as Martina Navratilova herself, Martina Navratilova says, famous tennis star, in one of her health books, I don't know why I'm coming up with that now, but I just remembered it. If you are not in charge of your schedule, whose time is it? Something to think about.